Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Get Sweaty. I am, as usual, your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by Big Fudge Ben Rayner, Sol Govan, and this week he is none other than 50 Shades of Vacation, the international tourist, 50 Shades of Geek.
I'm on vacation.
I'm just ending my 3-month vacation. So yes, welcome to another edition of Get Sweaty. Now, there's something a little different going on today. We announced this week that we are going to be transitioning all of our content over to the Schmoes of the North channel. And so this episode is simulcast live on both channels. So this will be the last episode on the Media Sweaties Network. And next week we will officially be all on Schmoes of the North. So thank you to those of you who are joining us for the first time. Thank you to those of you who are transitioning with us to the new channel. It's going to be the same content, a couple of tweaks here and there, but pretty much going to be the same old sweatiness.
And thank you, Mom.
Yes, 50s Mom. Yes, hey. So yeah, 50s, you'll have to subscribe to a new channel. I'm sorry. But
it's free, though.
You know what? I just realized how apropos this topic is. It's traveling. We're traveling to a new channel, and our topic is about traveling. How fortuitous is that?
I couldn't have planned it better myself.
Yeah, well, hey, then why don't you introduce the topic?
The Schmominati is at play.
Yeah.
Well, the topic today is top 5 cities around the world that you would like to travel to.
Yeah, this is going to be fun because now we're going to learn just exactly what everyone's idea of traveling is.
and also, because my mom asked this, no, we're only counting real cities. So, no, you cannot visit Rivendell, Mom. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't go to Wakanda. You can't go, I don't know.
Hogwarts.
Maybe that's a future topic, fictional cities.
Top 5.
Thank you.
But the way I went about this is that if I've already been to that city, even if I don't want to go back, I didn't count it in my top 5. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing only places I've never been to.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I've never traveled outside of Canada, so there's a lot of places I've never been to. How about the two of you? How did your list come about? How easy? Sorry.
What?
How easy was it for you to make your lists?
It was okay. I did places I would really want to go to, but never will get to go to.
Well, with my new job in about 5 years, I'll be able to afford to go to all of these places. So, hey.
Good for you.
Yeah, I got a new job this week. I started on Monday.
Hey.
Yeah. So in 5 years, I'll be able to travel to my number 1 finally. So,
looking forward to it.
Instead of bearing the lead, let's just kick it right off. So, Sol, since it was your topic, start it.
Okay, so my number 5 is San Juan, Puerto Rico. I never been to Puerto Rico. I would love to go to Puerto Rico. I've never been to the Caribbean, and I'm Caribbean. And so I picked that. I have family there, so I would have places to stay, and I'd know, like, just from pictures and things, like Puerto Rico is just beautiful, and the culture is beautiful. I speak the language, and the food is delicious. So why not?
Just forgive my ignorance, but Puerto Rico, what is the language? Is it Cuban or is it Puerto Rican? Is Puerto Rican a language?
There is no Cuban language as far as I know.
Boy, do I feel like an idiot right now. It's the opposite, apparently, of Chinese.
Yes.
Chinese?
Well, there is a country called Spain, and the language they speak is Spanish. They colonized a lot of countries in the world, and so then we speak their language. Just like here in America, or you in Canada, we
just like English. England.
Yeah, we're not English, but we speak English.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but I always thought that every region had like their own version of Spanish. There's
definitely dialects and different like words. And what's funny too is that like sometimes everyday words in one country are bad words, like really bad words in another country. So like there's definitely that, but we're all speaking the same language.
Yeah, because like Spanish from Spain is slightly different from Spanish from Argentina, which is slightly different from Spanish from Mexico, which is slightly different from
Same thing in French, to be honest. Like you got French Canadian. Well, there's several French Canadian. Like there's a French Canadian now. There's a French Canadian that I grew up on, which is what my family talked to, which is kind of like
the other French Canadian.
If you think about it, it's more like relaxed, it's more hillbillyish. Then of course you got the French, and then you got like New Orleans and Belgium. Like, yeah, I understand that.
You got Creole.
Creole, yeah.
Speaking of Argentinians,
she's from Argentina.
Her parents are, but she's been there. Her husband is from Argentina, but she's been there a couple of times.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. It's always one of those places. It's like I know it's real, but I've only ever heard about it. And
plus, it is the United States. So I have a passport, but I don't need a passport to go there.
So
and I can still use my cell phone. I don't have to get like a SIM card or anything.
That's pretty fortuitous.
Even better.
It's not a state. I know that. So what is it like?
No, it's a territory.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, around here, we say that Puerto Ricans are like the Druze for Americans. You will get the joke if you know what Druze are, but
yeah.
Well, I know who the Jewish are.
No, I'm talking about the Druze. They're a kind of a subsection of Arabs, but they're very, very friendly, very, very welcoming, and they have great food, much like the Puerto Ricans, obviously. So that's why I said the Druze of the Americans are the Puerto Ricans, much like Canadians are the Ashkenazi of the Americans.
See, I thought you were going for a Spaceballs joke because I was like Druish. I know she's Druish.
Well, no.
You look good.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Oh, am I?
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Yes.
You're here all week on every show.
Yeah, and now Ben, you have to follow it up with your number 5.
Bangkok in Thailand.
Okay.
That's also the punchline of a very funny joke. What's the capital of Thailand? Poof, Bangkok. I'm
got it.
Yeah,
I do have it on my honorable mention.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Thailand, to be honest.
No,
Shame on you.
The American dollar goes a long way in Thailand, apparently.
Yeah.
They say the most expensive thing is the flight. And then after that, like if you have just regular money in the US or Canada, you can live pretty large on vacation in Thailand.
So it's like Euro trip for real.
There was this Israeli comedian said everything is so cheap in so low price in Thailand. He once donated $10. They built a hospital after him. His name on it.
So yes, what is it about Bangkok that enamors you, makes you want to travel there?
There's the culture and the food and like, I just want to experience it. There's a lot of places, and I don't know that much about, but I would love to go there and learn more about. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, and I think that's actually the same reasons why all of us picked what's on our art lists. Yeah, it's one of those things like I'm curious like that, and as well as China to chase what actual Chinese food tastes like and what actual Thai food tastes like. That would be one of the major factors for me to go there. Yes,
well, actual Thai food will probably be much spicier.
Which means all more for me and none for my dad. My dad complains that there's a little too much pepper.
You're gonna be about as red as your shirt.
Good. Clears my sinuses. I can breathe.
That's actually a great thing for you right now.
Yeah. Stupid fucking hay fever.
You know, in Israel, in the military, Thailand is like the go-to place for everyone who goes out of the military. It's like it's become a cultural thing. Like that, everyone that ends his military service or her, they have to go to Thailand. It's like the thing to do after the military. It's like before the military, it's Amsterdam. After the military, it's Thailand. It's like there's even
Amsterdam is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is. I know a lot of people actually that I used to work with in another life that went to Thailand a few times. And I said it was a lot of fun. But there's all,
to finish my thought for a second, it's like become a joke right now. It's like you walk into a room and you don't see anybody. It's like, where is everybody? They're in Thailand.
nice.
Yeah, it's a thing. Okay.
Okay, so my number 5 is probably like the most basic answer on this list, but there's a reason for it, and I picked Los Angeles because I'm a massive
Font.
film nerd. Oh,
Font.
okay then. So what is your number 4?
Ooh.
We actually
Okay,
have
Number 5 for 50.
Yes, great. Because it was Soul that started. I just
Yes.
woke up, okay, folks.
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, no, it is way earlier for both Ben and Soda than it is for me and 50.
Yeah, and I'm trying to adjust my sleep schedule before I start work, so I'm like running on a few hours sleep here.
Oh,
And
no.
also it's kind of my fault, so I apologize for that.
Oh, it's fine. That's fine. I was usually up at 8 on Saturdays anyways. So 50.
Anyways, my number 5. I'm gonna steal something from Ben for a second, and it's a little bit of a cheat. It's not really a city necessarily, but it's the Serengeti. Does that count?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a pretty good reason for it, obviously.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I
Like,
knew that was coming.
I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of Africa and in general. That's a place I really wanted to visit. Obviously, the heat doesn't bother me because look where I live already. But yeah, it's supposedly a very beautiful place. I have a good friend from work who went there once, and he's like, he came back all charm and smiles, and like, you gotta go there, and yeah, I've been wanting. That's a place I've been wanting to go for years, even before that. And I know a little bit of Swahili through The Lion King because Mufasa means rulers. Check your spelling. Anyways,
Wow, I think I know where the part shades come from in their name.
yeah. Well, like I said, you interrupted my Lion King reference, Mom. Just so yeah, Mufasa is ruler. Simba means lion. Rafiki means friend. Pumbaa means not very smart. Taka, which is Scar's original name, means waste.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. No wonder he grew up to be the way he was. God damn it.
He had really really shitty parents. Yeah. Huezi means no, you can't. Hapana is no. Twindeki Boko means go on, come on, hippo. I know Heavy Kabisa, which means very heavy. Zukazama. These are all words from the Lion Guard that I've learned through this franchise, and it's definitely a place I would like to visit. The only reason it's as low on my list, as low as number 5, is because I am a person that values plumbing and hygiene. So yeah.
I had a coworker who actually went on a safari here about 4 years ago, and after she came back and told us about it, it's not on my list, but I've always wanted to take a safari through Africa.
Yeah,
same. Which they do have plumbing on their 50, so you'd be okay.
50, I have a question about Africa. Do you know if there's really
how could I forget the most important word? Go on, Ben.
It means no worries. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. It actually does mean don't worry.
I believe it.
Is flight rock based on something real?
To the best of my knowledge, no. But there have people who posted pictures from the area of a rock formation that looks similar. But I mean, it's hard for people to get this, but Lion King is a fantasy film. It's not real life. So yeah, a rock formation.
Are you sure about that 50 in your
Yeah, I was
heart?
going to say the guy holding the Simba teddy.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, Lion King is a fantasy, okay? Lions don't actually see their dads after they die, okay? There's actual magic in that franchise. So yeah, a rock formation like that could come up in the world of the Lion King.
I thought it was 100% accurate, 50. What are you talking about?
No one said it was 100% accurate.
Okay, so
Anywho.
Zongo.
All right, so my number 4 is a city named, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but Wadi Musa in Jordan.
Oh, wow.
And the reason translates to the Valley of Moses. It's a town that is set within a valley that surrounds the ancient city of Petra. And it looks beautiful in pictures, and I want to go so bad. Like I've seen all these different pictures, and like it's just been there forever, and it looks so pretty, and I want to go.
It's the first I've heard about it, but this will actually play into one of my picks, but I'm not religious, but I'm very much into learning about the history of Christianity specifically. So that's a place right there I would.
Right, because Moses was Christianity, yeah.
Well, yeah, but and Judaism, sorry, because they are
Judeo-Christian,
yeah. Roman gods and Greek gods, same thing.
Yeah. No, that would definitely be a place. Now can't believe I've never heard of it.
Your mom said that she'll take us there with Jeeps. I'm down. I'm down to go with 50's mom.
Yeah.
She loves Jeeps.
She would, and she really would love Canada. Hint, hint.
She's been there and she loved it. Hint, hint. If not for the cold, she'd go back there every year. But just to clarify, though, Saul, you're not talking about actual Petra, just the valley around it, or Petra as well.
As well, it's it says that it's the ancient city there, and then like when you look into one of the handful of true once-in-a-lifetime experience, Petra, the rose red city, the city half as old as time, one of the 7 wonders of the world, was carved out of the rocky southern Jordanian desert by the Nabateans over 2,000 years ago. So that's part of the whole journey. So like you go through Wadi Musa, and then you kind of just walk through and go through Petra.
So this is a picture of the place that she's talking about.
Wadi Musa.
That actually looks pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
And they're right around the corner for me. So that's an easier place to go visit than some of the other ones on my list.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to me that it's called the Valley of Moses, because I don't think Moses ever got there, because it's very known.
Yeah, I would assume you did, Mrs. 50.
Yeah, she was drooling at the mouth. Yeah, I was gonna say Moses. It's very known that he never actually made it into this part of the world because of some conflict with God, because of the whole rock with the water in it. So it's weird to me that they named that after him when he never actually got there. He never set foot in Canaan.
Well, one of the things I've noticed through like just my pastime of watching stuff on things of that nature, like of biblical times and what have you, and one thing I've noticed is that they don't exactly specify in the Bible where people went. For example, there is a place in Spain that claims that Jesus actually set foot in there, because there's a story in the Bible that says that Jesus went on a trip across a big lake and to go preach to others about stuff, and they say it was just a lake, but in reality it might have actually been a bigger body of water, and he might have actually ended up in what we know as present day Spain, because there's a lot of people there trace their origins back to Judaism from that time. So it's possible that he actually did end up there, and it's just somewhere along the line it might have gotten lost in translation.
Well, I mean, when you could walk on water, these travel issues seem a little bit limited.
You're right. So it was all an illusion. It was a 2x12. That's what it was.
So according to Google, which Google is always correct 100% of the time, it said, Wadi Musa means Valley of Moses. In Arabic, it is said that the prophet Moses passed through the valley and struck water from the rock for his followers at the site of Ain Musa, Moses water spring or Moses well. So it says that he went through.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I said. That's the rock. God told him to speak to the rock and get water, and he's like, "No, I'm not talking to a rock. I'm talking to a rock doesn't give me water. I'm going to strike it with my staff." And God got really mad at him for not believing in him. That's why he decreed that he's never going to set foot in Canaan. He's only going to see it from afar.
I know that from the 10 Commandments movie with Charlton Heston.
Mm-hmm. I know that from school.
Yeah, we never were taught that in school, even though I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, well, you learn more important things at school than I did. Let's be real.
Fair point. Okay, Ben, what's your number 4?
Isn't that really a treat? Greece. I want to go to Greece and learn about like
Me too.
all the.
Yeah, that's kind of a punt. That's a kind of a punt.
Okay.
I'm gonna Greece. Okay, so a little funny story before we actually go into mine. So when I was younger, this is how dumb I was as a kid. I thought Greece was where they filmed the movie.
Wow.
I have a memory of finding it on an atlas and pointing to my grandma and saying, "Look, this is where they filmed the movie."
Even though it's spelled differently.
Yeah, boy. Well, I was like 5. Like, boy, was I wrong. Okay.
I mean, I've seen people who didn't realize that Turkey was an actual country because it's after it. That's where the chickens come from, the turkeys.
Oh, Hungary. Isn't Hungary a country?
Yeah,
Yep.
Hungary is a country.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, spelled differently, but
Yeah.
I'm
that's
ready
where
for
they,
Turkey.
that's where they filmed the
Anyway.
Hunger Games.
Okay, so my number 4, potential for a punt as well. Rome.
Punt.
Honorable mention.
Okay, so it's a punt again. So 50, your number 4,
Tokyo.
honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Ben? Is it an honorable mention?
No. No.
Did you just
take
get
it
honorable
away.
mention?
Yes.
I thought I heard that. 50. Oh, you punny bastard.
Anyways, so yeah, Tokyo, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Japan, another country I've always wanted to visit. A lot of really gorgeous looking places. I love the technology, Japanese, from what I've heard. Not really the nicest people, the tourists or gaijin, as they call them, strangers. And I had some problems with the Japanese in the past. But all that aside, very beautiful place, and it's definitely a lot. It's a very great blend of modern technology and ancient culture, and that's one of the things I love. Like when you find a nice way to blend a tradition and modernity together, that is just a beautiful balance. A lot of countries around the world don't really have that kind of balance. And also, I learned just yesterday that they opened a special national park where you can actually find Pokemon, little Pokemon figurines, kind of fitting into the background. So yeah, kind of like a safari for Pokemon, but it's that really bumped it up on my list.
50 found a way. 50 found a way.
Found
for
a way.
Lion King and for Pokemon, he always finds a way.
I'm shocked didn't bump it to number 1. But that sounds like fun, to be honest. That does sound like fun.
Like I said, I only saw it tomorrow. I only saw it yesterday, so it didn't quite have enough time to marinate. And it was only just a teaser. It didn't the full thing.
I would do that because it does sound like a lot of fun. But yeah, Tokyo would be an awesome place to visit because I want to visit the architecture. I want to see the beautiful gardens they have. I want to see what life actually is like there, not just what I see on TV.
I studied a little bit about Japanese architecture as part of my art classes. Do you know why the buildings are shaped the way that they are?
Rain?
Well, yes, because their buildings are pretty much made out of paper for the most part. Other than the roof, which is made out of stone, it's sort of shaped in a way that it's a very rainy area. So the rain kind of falls on the roof and slides all the way away from the walls, so the walls wouldn't get wet.
Makes sense.
And there's also a lot of earthquakes and tornadoes over there, and houses get demolished pretty easily. That's why they made them from paper, so they can rebuild them very easily once something like that happens.
Makes sense.
It's not on my name, and I want to go to Tokyo so bad. Just to try authentic Japanese sushi.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like heaven to me.
They say the taste of it is if you're very used to like Western flavors because they don't use as much salt and so it's fresh fish and rice that doesn't have much flavor to it. So like I have a cousin who went to Japan and said it was very much, if you're used to eating sushi like here in the US, that it's a very bland comparatively when you eat it in Japan because it's basically just the fresh fish and fresh rice with no seasoning.
That sounds good though.
Keyword being
That
fresh.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keyword being fresh.
a former coworker of mine, a number of years ago, actually spent a few years in Japan teaching English, and she's always said to me she wants to go back. She loved it that much. Yeah. Okay, so Sol, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Marrakesh, Morocco.
Ooh.
Wow. You guys are going even more specific than I did.
That's where I believe where my grandfather was born, I think.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. So it's just absolutely beautiful in pictures. Moroccan food is absolutely friggin' delicious. I have a few friends who've been to Marrakesh and say that like the food is just top notch. And they say if you want to have the feeling of like the movie of Casablanca has become way too much modernized, that Marrakesh still has the feeling of what you see in videos for it. So that's why I want to go to Marrakesh. There's also this huge market there. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot of fun. I have not had the pleasure of trying Moroccan food. I would love to one day.
Super good. It's super good. So good.
Why?
Don't listen to 50.
My mom can attest to this. One time she actually had lunch with my dad's family, and my grandfather got all very excited and happy at something he was able to cook. He was so excited of the dish he made, and he served it. And he was so excited and happy for people to try it. And it was just some weird stripe thing on a plate. And my mom asks him, "Well, what the hell is this?" And he's like, "That is the tail of a bull."
I mean, there's more than just that, though.
Excited and happy that he was able to serve this to guests. And
I will tell you, though, Moroccan food is absolutely delicious, and the couscous and all of that. So I would say, don't listen to 50. Go eat Moroccan food.
Oh, yeah, couscous, yeah. But do you want to eat the tail of a bull?
But that's not all that there is. There's a lot more food than that.
Yeah, there's my least favorite food in the world, hameen, which I despise with great intensity.
What is it? Worse than haggis?
I never tried haggis, but it's like eggs and meat and wheat, but in this really brownish sauce.
Yes.
You keep it overnight or something like that. It's just
You look at so like they'll have like the full lamb and they like cook it in the ground, and when it comes out it looks so beautiful. Like if you watch like travel shows or stuff when like people are eating the food there, the food looks so good. And then I've tried Moroccan food here, which obviously is not going to be the same, and it's always been delicious.
That's one of the things I miss about living in the cities. Like where I live, like we're not exposed to different types of ethnic foods like that. So that's one thing I do miss about the big city is having the ability to just go out and try whatever type of food you want from whatever region. Yeah. All right, Ben. Numero 3, please.
Did
Did anyone else have that?
Romans.
What was it again, Ben?
Rome.
Oh no.
All right. Ben, why Rome?
I love Italian food, and I want to try authentic Italian food.
That's why?
Yeah, and I love the culture there.
I love how you're basing your choices on what normally I would base my choices on. Food.
Oh, come on.
I'm just busting your chops, Ben. Actually, it does. Yeah,
Food,
that's one of the
glorious food.
That's one of the reasons why it's on my list as well. Yeah.
Come on, authentic Italian pasta. Tell me you don't want to try that.
Dude, Rome is on my list. That's one of the reasons. I was just busting your chops.
Taking away.
Yeah, like obviously the food, like duh, that's number one. But also I want to see all the the Colosseum. There's the Arch of Constantine, which is right outside of the Colosseum. Like I want to see all of the ancient stuff because I'm very fascinated about ancient Roman times because again, it does play into the history of Judeo-Christianity. I've watched a fair amount of documentaries that have highlighted these places, and it's just the beauty of it and the history of it, and to see where a lot of our Western beliefs started.
Okay, I might get hate for this, but I don't care. I always get confused. Where did the Olympics start? Greece or Rome?
Greece.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like I said, Rome is on my honorable mention. Mostly for art reasons. Like I said, I studied art, and a lot of the best art came from the Greco-Roman Empire. The separate empires, obviously, but the Greco-Roman art style is one of my favorites. The way they designed their buildings, which are the way a lot of modern day buildings took their inspirations from. I've been to London. About half the buildings there are Greco-Roman inspired, and obviously I've been to the British Gallery. A lot of the Roman art, which the British stole from, came from Rome, and then a lot of it came from those areas. And obviously, to see where Da Vinci lived, and the Colosseum, like you mentioned, one of the greatest art structures in the world. A lot of the Roman arches. Yeah, that's definitely my reasoning for it. And that's my knowledge.
Yeah, mine's definitely a combination of both, and that's one of the things I love about like a lot of the places we're talking about. It's basically like the origins of a lot of things, and that's the beauty about going to these places to see where our way of living comes from. So okay, that was also my number 4, but my number 3, I'm waiting for another punt. It's Jerusalem.
Been there, done that.
Well, yeah, of course you have. Not on your list for the others. Yay, I can finally talk.
Just like Seoul. If I've been there,
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it on my list.
Yeah, of course. That's why you'll never see any Canadian cities on my thing. But yeah, no, it's Jerusalem because, like I just alluded to, I am immensely fascinated by the origins of Christianity, and where does most of it, that part begin? It's in Jerusalem. I would love to go back and see like the buildings from that time, to see the Holy Land, to see all these churches, and there's so much grandeur and beauty in that country from what I've seen that it enamored me since I was a little kid, and I've always wanted to go.
It's a beautiful place,
Yeah.
man. The landscapes, the buildings, even the smell is just intoxicating. If not for the people living there, it would have been a perfect place to I go there every day. Like I've been there multiple times with my dad. Obviously, my dad is a tour guide, so I've been in Jerusalem a lot of times. I've been there for military reasons. A lot of ceremonies are held in these historic places. A lot of trips, guided tours I took all over the city. It's such a beautiful looking city. Again, modernity versus tradition. A little bit more leaning towards the old tradition stuff, but still, it's such a great place. There's can't remember if it was there or not. No, it was definitely there. There's like a hill where a major battle took place in, and that's where we had one of our ceremonies in the military. There's a giant Israeli flag, just a huge flag standing on top of this hill, and I don't care what country you're from, you cannot look at that and not feel patriotic.
I know. I hear you.
Unless you're one of the countries that tried to wipe us off the face of the map, just saying. But it's just the sense of patriotism in the country mixed with the old tradition and the landmarks, and it's great. And also, contrary to popular belief, the Holy Land is not a land full of holes. Let's just put it that way. Let's put that argument to it.
Yeah.
Although, like I said, there was a major battle taking place in there. There's this huge stone gate full of holes from the bullets from one of the war. I think it was the sixth. It was into the 6-Day War or the War of Independence. But the whole gate is full of holes, and there are still bullets launched inside those holes to this very day.
See, it's things like that make me want to go travel these places because that stuff's just fascinating to me.
Yeah. History.
Yeah, exactly. It's history. A living history. So speaking of living history, 50, what's your number 3?
Yeah, thanks. Also, a callback to what I said earlier. And speaking of London, that's actually my number 3. No. Wait. I've been to London. So it's not on my list. Cardiff.
Cardiff was so close to making my list.
I was going to say London is an honorable mention.
I'm guessing Doctor Who reference.
Yes, but Cardiff is in Wales, not England.
Yeah, it's in Wales.
Wales is
I said, speaking of London.
Okay.
Speaking of London, Cardiff, where they used to film Doctor Who before they switched it to some Sheffield, I think. But yeah, Cardiff, the place where Doctor Who, where most of modern Doctor Who was shot. Obviously, that is where the Doctor Who experience is. I've been there, obviously, when they had like a small window of time when they sent it to London, and they brought it back to Cardiff. So yeah, it would be nice to go there again.
Yeah.
But just to see the landscapes, see where Torchwood obviously was filmed, see the locations there, and yeah, I've already been where a lot of the London scenes from Doctor Who were filmed. I want to, and obviously Harry Potter. I want to go to see where a lot of the scenes from the other scenes from Doctor Who and Torchwood took place. Yeah, maybe one day I'll also consider Ealing, which is where the Sarah Jane Adventures was filmed. But for the most part, it's just a regular neighborhood, so nothing really too impressive there.
Yeah, the only reason I would go to Cardiff, and this is why it's on my mentions list, is everything you just said, and also I want to go to where the location of the rift is.
Yeah, maybe you can end up in a different time and place in space and time.
Please let Captain Jack be waiting for me.
I mean,
moving on.
I'll go watch a football game in Cardiff.
Yeah. Yeah, Wales just in general seems like a cool place to go.
Where football is actually being played with people's feet.
Yeah,
and not with their hands.
He's not wrong. I don't know what it is with you Americans trying to make your shit your own, but I'm just kidding.
I mean, I call it football. I call soccer football. So I don't know who you're talking to.
A lot of fans, a lot of fans of the sport call it football. Yeah, because it's the right way.
It's called football in every country in the world except America.
I wonder how, in Canada too.
Canada too.
Yeah. Remember, we're America light.
Yeah, the Ashkenazi of Americans. Diet Americans, as I say.
I always wondered where the term soccer came from.
I don't know.
I don't know what the origins of it, because it makes no sense when you compare it to a sport that you kick with a ball. Anyways, okay, so Sol, you're number 2.
My number 2 is, so I wrote here, Grecian islands. So I don't know what little island I want to go in Greece yet. I haven't picked which one, but I want to go to one of them.
Was this influenced by Mamma Mia?
No, it wasn't. But I've always wanted to go to Greece. Mm-hmm. I think Greece is just beautiful in pictures. I'm also very much into, I love like the Greek gods and Roman gods and stuff like that. I love all of that stuff. I love the architecture. I love the art. I love just the way everything looks. So, and also I like Greek food. So yeah, Greece.
Basically,
and I love the beach too. So that's why it's one of the little islands. So,
and also I was gonna say in the intro to this very show, one of the movies being shown is My Big Fat Greek Wedding,
which I love,
as per your request.
Yeah,
yeah. And I just thought of that idea.
It is on my honorable mention. Well, not the Greek islands. I put more specifically Athens, but it really is for everything that Sol just mentioned. Reason why it is on my honorable mention, though, is because it is a more recent addition to that list. But yeah, it's mostly the food. Try authentic Greek food, obviously. And plus, I want to see all the historic ancient Greek buildings that are still around. Like, come on. Like, to see like the Colosseums in Athens. Oh, God. Playing in the video game is one thing, but to see it in real life would be dope.
I want to see the history of the Olympics.
Yes.
What did that look like way back when?
This one's for you there, Sol. Santorini is at the top of the Greek islands on the list. There you go.
Yeah, a lot of people say Santorini. I didn't pick that one just yet because I was like, I want to search all the other little islands too, because I like finding like little gems that like people don't really know about.
Well, Greece, like I said earlier, is on my honorable mention for the same reasons. The art style, the architecture, the same reason as Rome's, the Greek gods. Yeah, a lot of the Greco-Roman concepts are concepts that I love and may or may not have used in a Pokemon fan game that I am currently designing. Just saying.
Another major plus that would probably get me to the islands if I knew Amanda Seyfried was waiting for me at the other end.
Oh, you went from Captain Jack to Amanda Seyfried? I mean, slow down, buddy. Slow down before you hurt yourself. I just
quoted Timon. I know the line's one of my favorites. But, okay, before we go on, my absolute favorite line from Timon is, "Why do I always have to save your..." Sorry for yelling.
Save your what?
Yeah. Okay. So you just did your number 2, so Ben.
Okay, my number 2, I didn't want to go and relax on the beach for a week. Just chill out, and I want to go to that island from the last Jedi. Skellig Island.
Skellig Michael Island, yeah.
Yeah, they look beautiful. I want to get away. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. That has to be the most beautiful location in Star Wars on film.
I would agree with that.
Like real location.
I would make an argument for Naboo or Scarif, but
the reason why
it's up there.
I'm not including Naboo is because a lot of that was CGI. I'm talking real world locations.
Well, like a lot of the real world locations that they shot that like in Italy, and in Spain, for Naboo, that like those real world locations are also very beautiful.
Yeah, fair point, but there's just something about I don't know the name of the real island for the life of me, but
Skellig Michael Island.
Yeah,
slow down.
There is just, you see that there's just something breathtaking, and yeah, Ben, you're absolutely right. To be able to go there.
My only problem with it is I believe it's a protected island,
you can't
really go there. And Disney, as Disney does, kind of broke a few rules shooting. They were filming more than they were allowed to. So,
and then that's where the porgs came from, because the puffins on the island are considered protected, so they couldn't remove them. So porgs went over for them. Yeah. Oh,
look, a puffin! I just quoted Timon again. I'm on fire today.
Dude, could you imagine the picnic you'd have on that island?
With Chewie.
Yeah, with Chewie and R2 and a very bitter Luke.
No, I didn't want to doing. No.
Yeah. Goddamn porgs.
Would you drink milk from that creature, though? Green milk?
No, but
why not?
I don't know if any of you guys I don't know if you guys ever watched the special features, but that's a practical creature. They actually flew that in with a helicopter.
No.
Yeah, that's a real thing. All right. My number 2, London.
Punt.
Oh.
I've had 3 things punted. Son of a bitch. All right, 50. What's your number 2?
In New York, something. I don't know the song.
Yeah. So that is tangentially tied to my number 1.
So it's not a punt.
No, it's not a punt. It's not an official punt.
Okay. New York City, where all the Marvel heroes live, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Hey. Nice. But threw me off. I've been in multiple versions of New York City through video game forms, mostly Marvel games, but
Spider-Man's the best representation of that.
Which Spider-Man, though? Because there's
the
several different versions. What?
The PlayStation 4 newer one.
Yeah, I have a friend who's actually visited there a couple of times. He came by to my place. We played the game together, and he was just looking for the places he's visited, which are pretty much accurately recreated. He showed me pictures of it. It was
that is
great.
That is one of the achievements in the game is you got to go around with Peter Parker and take snapshots of all the locations.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the game.
Yeah, but obviously some of those locations are fictional, like the Sanctum Sanctorum and the Wakandan Embassy, Avengers Tower, all that. But to see it in a video game as Spider-Man and to actually physically be there, boots on the ground type of approach is a completely different thing. I have an uncle who's been there. He says, and again, this is him. I've never been there, but he says it rains, but you never feel the rain because the rain keeps falling on the buildings are so tall that all the rain just falls on them. You never feel the rain in New York City. And visit Central Park, which is like that park is bigger than my city almost. I'm kidding, obviously, but it's a huge park. I've been to Hyde Park. I've been told that park kind of really blows that out of the water. And obviously, I've been to Piccadilly. Time to go to Times Square. I want to go to the Empire State Building, all the Chrysler Building, all these very famous locations from New York City. Like I've only dreamt of going. Obviously, the Statue of Liberty. Obviously, yeah. Like I said earlier, art and architecture. That's my reasoning for going. Not food, unfortunately. But speaking of food, I've been told there's a wide, diverse collection of food in the city itself from all different walks of life.
You have to have New York style pizza. That's for sure.
Is it any better than Pizza USA?
I don't know. I never tried Pizza USA because I just haven't tried. But yeah.
Fun fact, by the way, fun fact. This week I finally tried pineapple on pizza.
What do you think?
And
Not a fan, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
See, that's where I stand as well.
It's delicious.
I don't know where that debate came from. I need to do some research.
I think RB3 introduced it, and
on
he's like,
our end, it's an old episode of the Schmoes No Show.
Yeah, how RB3 said it's better than any pizza ever, and they fought him about it, even though they never tried it. So
Yeah. So, but
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say final point about New York. It'll be nice to visit my good friend Dagan from the Schmodown community.
He was in
We've been
Buffalo,
talking together on stereo a lot, and he and Corey Cameron called a match a trivia match on stereo where I lost to Cooley High. And I'm still bitter about that. Hashtag David Flincher. Hashtag Don't Tell Shrek.
There's a lot of places in New York I'd like to visit, like obviously Yankee Stadium, Madison Square Garden, because it's the fucking mecca of sports. Central Park, obviously, all the big locations, but there is one place I do want to go visit. It is the Museum of Moving Image because it has the Jim Henson exhibition in Queens.
Ooh,
so they actually have an actual. This is the part that I would have a hard time with, but they actually have Muppets in there. They have an original Grover. They have an original Miss Piggy in a wedding dress from one of the movies. They have an original Big Bird. They have one of the original Kermits that predates Sesame Street. They got stuff from Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, all the movies that he worked on. Like there is a video, I've mentioned it quite a few times. I keep forgetting to share it. It's on Adam Savage's Tested channel where he actually goes and visits it, and it is so spectacular to see.
Where do you stand on the Happy Time Murders, the movie?
I still haven't seen it.
It's good. I don't understand.
It's
fun.
It's a movie that I remember when it came out, I was excited to watch it, and let's say with a lot of my friends, but then they kind of fell into the whole they listened to the critics thing, and then we just kind of forgot about it.
I saw it.
Although I will say that the thing about that movie I like the most is Collider's trailer reaction with Perry and Rosa.
Yes.
So did you ever see that trailer reaction? You have to check that out. You have to check that out because it's bonkers.
Also, can I just point out, not the same thing, Mom. New York is a real country. Rivendell isn't.
City, not a country.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
But you know what? With the amount of stuff that there is there, you'd think it was a country.
Yeah, it's about as big as an actual.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the island of Manhattan it's about as big as my country. So
My
relative.
my mom is from the East Coast, and all of her family is back in New York, so I go there a lot.
Lucky bastard. When I'm able to afford to, I'm definitely going there for a Schmodown live event. Take a week.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Take a week.
As soon as live events are coming, I don't care. I'm gonna work nights all year if I have to. I'm going to Spectacular, wherever and whenever that's going to be.
Mhm.
Obviously, a different thing, but Spectacular. I'm going to Spectacular this year. I don't care.
You and me sitting beside each other, 50, with Ben right beside us if it's in LA. And
Yeah.
Soul if he wants to make the trip as well. Okay, then. So that was your number 2. So let's do the honorable mentions real quick. Soul, if you want to kick us off with that.
All right, so I have Bangkok in Thailand. I have Tokyo. I have Barranquilla, Colombia, which I should have been in last December, but COVID. I have London, and then I chose this just because it's interesting to me, and I kind of want to just see it. I chose Equatorial Guinea, which is the only country in Africa that speaks Spanish.
Really?
It's yep. So it.
I did not know that.
I want to do that one. And then speaking of Spanish in Africa, there's a city called Ceuta, and it's at the very tip of Morocco, and it's owned by Spain. So it's part of Spain, but it's on the continent of Africa, and I would like to go there.
That does sound nice. Be a little confusing, but it sounds a little nice. All right, Ben, what about you?
Africa, India, Shanghai.
Those are countries, man, not cities. But
I
okay.
know, but they're on my honorable mention, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm like Matt said. I'm just busting your balls. Come on.
And my last one is a city, and Matt, you know, I want to go to Vancouver. Yeah, I want to see some of the small represents.
Yes, I can take you to the locations. Unfortunately, Metropolis got turned into a housing complex.
Of course it did.
I remember that was a sad day passing on the SkyTrain and seeing that happen.
Oh.
But on the plus side, I was on the SkyTrain one side and I saw a recently convicted felon, Allison Mack, walking the streets of Metropolis. So, hey. All right. So I've only got 3, and they were all mentioned in one form or another: Tokyo, Athens, and Cardiff. What about you, 50? Did you have any honorable mentions?
A couple I've already mentioned. Like I said, Rome, anywhere in Greece, Vancouver for the same reasons that Ben said, because everything was filmed there, and I'd like to be there once.
And everything is still filmed there. I could take you to so many cool places.
And lastly, Paris for the same reasons I mentioned earlier: art, the Louvre, and architecture and stuff.
Yeah. And alrighty, so
moving on to our number 1, Sol. What is your number 1?
What is your numero uno?
So I chose the Isla Canarias, the Canary Islands.
Oh.
And the reasoning for that is that on my mother's side, apparently that's where our people come from, is they went from the Canary Islands to Cuba. So I would like to go there for like an ancestral thing.
Looking at this view, I don't fucking blame you. Like, seriously, look at that.
I know it's a very touristy place, and a lot of people go there, but I would like to go there.
How cool are you if your family comes from there? Like, that is beautiful.
And more importantly, why did they leave?
Right? There's probably reasons, but man, I don't blame you for putting you that at number 1. That is a beautiful place.
Well, that's my number 1.
If I ever get married, that's definitely going to go on the list of vacation spots.
And it's right off the coast of Morocco, so I literally I could do Morocco. I could do that other city in Spain. I literally could just have my little North African trip.
That's awesome. What are your guys' thoughts on Canary Islands? Like, that's beautiful. Like, right on the ocean.
Yeah, I would like to go there. Beautiful.
Huh.
I mean, everything you guys said. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I saw a travel show on it once. Apparently, the food there is really good as well. expensive but awesome. So, which is like most good food is. So
Yeah.
forget I said that.
Family.
All right, Ben, what is your numero uno?
Is the front from before London.
Oh, yes. Good old, jolly old London.
Want to see Big Ben, want to see where people, well, I want to see me having, I didn't want to see London.
Actually, it's not called the Big Ben anymore. It's called the Elizabeth Tower. Big
Wait, really?
Big Ben is the bell inside the tower. The tower is called Elizabeth Tower after Queen Elizabeth. And yeah.
I thought Ben was the clock, not the bell.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the clock is named after Big Ben because the guy who designed it was called Ben. He was pretty big. So that's something I vaguely remember from my last time I've been there. But yeah,
Well,
the tower
he's not wrong.
the tower is called Elizabeth Tower.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I didn't want to see the clock. No.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And dude, when you hear that clock ring, it is I can't believe I'm actually standing there. You can hear it from almost the entire city. It's great.
Oh,
I
that's
gotta go back there once. I gotta go back.
Reasons for me as well.
And Matt, you'll appreciate this. I won one of those hats that Joey had.
Yes.
And friends.
Yes. They probably still make them too. Just unfortunately, Richard Branson will not be the one selling it to you. No, honestly, all the reasons, because this was my number 2, all the reasons except for the hat that you listed. But not just that. I want to go see Royal Albert Hall. I want to go see the O2. I want to see Buckingham Palace. I want to see Westminster Abbey. I want to see the Tower of London. I want to see Old London. I want to see all of that. This is amazing. And to be honest, I actually have a soft spot for the British accent. So I just want to be surrounded by people who speak like that all the time.
Me too.
And let me just give you a bit of a heads up. You're setting yourself up for disappointment because apparently Buckingham Palace is a really tiny place. Am I right, Mom?
Just to see it, I want to say I saw it. Right?
No, it's a joke. Me and my mom got lost once in London. We somehow found our way into Buckingham Palace, and I was like, "Oh, wait, that's Buckingham Palace." And I was like, my mom was like, No, wait, that's way too small. That's a small palace. And I was like, does this look small to you? And I went to the security guard standing at the gate, and I said, hey, stupid question, but help me sell an argument. Is this Buckingham Palace? And his response was legendary. He said, you're right. That is a stupid question.
That's another thing. I want to go see if I can crack the fucking guards.
No, he wasn't one of the ones that don't move. He was just a regular security guard standing there. Yes, yep. My mom knows that. My mom knows that. And speaking of the British accent, as soon as we landed there, we got out of King's Cross, where they filmed some scenes in Harry Potter, and we're looking for our hotel, which was right across the street from King's Cross. It's great. If you ever go there, look for the Belgrove Hotel.
Okay.
Really cheap. It's across the street from King's Cross, and it has it's right on the main street with buses leading anywhere you need. Just if you don't mind sleeping in a bed that's about this big and a room that's about this big, you'll be fine. But you're not going to be in the room the entire time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If I'm going to London, it's not to see the inside of a hotel room, so that part doesn't bother me.
Absolutely. We asked a random taxi driver. We asked him, "Can you tell us where the Belgrove Hotel is?" And he was like, "Belgrove? Well, that's just over the road there." My mom and me were just on the floor laughing. I was knocking my head against the wall to stop laughing at it's such a great accent, but when you hear it for the first time, you just can't really believe that it's really people actually speak like that.
Yeah, there's something about proper British accent that I found, for lack of a better word, I find incredibly sexy.
Me too, but that guy was like the old, Cockney. Good day, Governor.
Oh yeah,
the Dick Van Dyke accent.
Oh frig! What are some of the ridiculous Cockney things? Like there's a flute and suit, which is a flute, which is a suit.
Cheerio.
I went to a restaurant before I go on to my number one. I went into a restaurant in Vancouver, which is patterned after the London style pubs, and on their placemats they had all the Cockney slang. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
As long as you don't try, as long as you don't try fish and chips, because it is disgusting, and I tried it once. But
dude, I love fish and chips. You're obviously not eating it
What?
right.
all right, maybe I ate it at the wrong place.
I
but I don't
think
know.
today I've just learned to not trust 50 on food recommendations.
Yeah, dude,
All right.
if you're
Joke's
ever on
on
this
you.
side of the world, we're taking you for real for good fish and chips. That's
Okay, if you ever come here, then don't take my advice on the best shawarma places in the city.
that I will. That I
Thank
will.
you.
Okay.
Yeah. One last thing. When I was there was this brand new film museum that just opened on the other side of the Thames. It was brand new. They haven't even finished putting the final touch together, but they have the original Christopher Reeve suit, from Superman the movie, in there. There's original set designs from the original Star Wars trilogy. Hey, Taco! Well, I mean, you literally call yourself Taco, so what do I know? Am I
Yeah.
right?
Ah,
But
I love fish and chips, goddammit.
yeah, so
Tacos have nothing
dude,
to do
there-
with fish and chips.
it's a food. I
food.
named myself after a movie, so he knows better than I do. That's what I was going
Yeah.
for.
All right.
Wait, I gotta finish my thought. Wait.
Yeah.
That film museum, it has the original hat and cane of Charlie Chaplin.
No.
Yes, the original thing. There's the original Daleks from the Doctor Who TV movies from the 60s. There's the dinosaur from Night at the Museum. There's even an entire section for Harry Potter. And there's a place where there's with a green screen that literally takes a snapshot of you on a broomstick with the Quidditch gear holding the golden snitch. And I have a picture of it in the back room.
You had me at Charlie Chaplin's hat and cane.
Yeah, but like I said, it just opened when I was there, and that was holy fuck, that was 9 years ago.
Hopefully
Dang
it's
it.
still there because I have to go there.
Yeah, it's a very well. When I was there, it was very difficult to find. I'm sure you would
Yeah.
have no problem finding it now.
And speaking of, I have to go there. My number one for anybody who knows me, it's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Of course, if I have Doctor Who, Lion King, and Pokemon, the Holy Trinity in the same episode, that is the ritual you need in order for Soda to summon Rocky.
Of course, number one of those lists would be to do the Rocky steps and to get my picture taken with the statue, and obviously go visit the places that they did that. That's obviously number one. Number two on the list would be to see the historical, because I'm fascinated by the origins of the American America. So obviously, Philadelphia is
America, yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm slurring my words, but no, that because of all the American history that came from there. So I want to see Liberty Bell. I want to see
really cool.
all that stuff. And then third off, this is where it's tangentially tied to New York. It's only a 2-hour drive from New York City, so I could take a couple days and go do that as well.
Honestly, too, like, if you go to Philadelphia, and New York is close, and then even Boston too, you could literally hit all three.
Yeah.
I've done trips where I've hit Philadelphia and New York City at the same time.
Yeah.
Philly is really cool.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I also, if it's during the right time, go to a Flyers game or go to a Phillies game.
Yeah. Or my family, we did a Washington D.C. trip, and we went to Washington D.C., rented a car, went to Philadelphia, and so you could literally just the
exactly.
You have so many options to do.
I could take 2 weeks to go to Philadelphia and also go see all these amazing other places as well. It's ideal.
You know what? I think I might have to. You're giving me an idea. I think I might have to add Washington D.C. to my honorable mentions.
Me as well.
Just to see, the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
Like I said, art and architecture.
Yeah.
The Capitol. The Capitol. Hopefully, it's safe there right now. But the White House. Is the Pentagon also there?
You can't go to the Pentagon.
But
drive past it.
No, obviously not. And I'm not going to go there. But can you see it from the outside, or is it in a different?
Can you drive by it? I think you can.
I think you can, but you'll basically just see the sign to go in.
So
I'm not gonna go in. I got nothing to do with searching the Pentagon. I'm just saying, I'm gonna look.
I'm just
Look at the
saying,
cheap by the pentagram.
if you want to see a sign, then sure.
So
Sure.
I've been to DC, and I got to tour the White House.
That'd be
This
cool.
was,
Ooh, that's
this
cool.
was before 9/11, obviously. I'm pretty sure anyway. And I got to ride in the president's private elevator.
Ooh.
Nice. So pre 9/11, so it was either Bush or Clinton that was in office.
No,
Robert Clinton, I think.
So you went during the okay, that's cool.
And they, Clinton is late. Clinton even worse as
Okay,
I can't remember. And one
yeah,
of
there
the
was two Bushes.
yeah. George Herbert Walker and George W.
I mean, second Bush.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah,
know that.
Bush
Yeah.
2.0.
So we all meet in Philadelphia and we all go for a trip.
I'm game. I mean that was where they filmed Shazam, my favorite DCEU movie. So
Toronto.
that was where the movie was set.
There you go.
Was supposed to be.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because Dave actually had a friend that worked on the set of the first Shazam, and it was in Toronto. Yeah,
I like that movie.
Me
It's
too.
a nice movie.
Yeah. So Taco, Rome was actually on my number 4 on my list, but we had already talked about it. Yeah, that is definitely a place that's on some of our lists as well. So yeah, that brings an end to the travel edition of.
Hey.
So shit. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
I'm just sitting here patiently waiting.
Sorry. I'm gonna log off. You go.
What the hell?
I'm sorry, 50. I really am. I'm fuck. I got no excuse.
50, please. And grace us with your number 1.
Well, it's a good thing that you asked it because Los Angeles.
Right, that was a punt from my number
Which was a
5
punt from
earlier.
earlier.
Fuck.
Well, obviously, the main reason to go there is to visit my good friend Bran. That is, you don't need any more reason than that. But also to see where the Schmodown is. Maybe I can get to see a Schmodown, not a live event, but a studio taping match in there. Be part of the audience. Be just walk around the streets that are legendary. You see it in movies and TV shows all the time with the palm trees and that is in Los Angeles. I'm not off on that, right?
No, you're right.
There are
You're
palm
right.
trees in
Yeah,
Los
you're
Angeles.
right. You're right. You're right.
Okay, yeah, and also I believe Hollywood is there as well. The Sign and Beverly, all of that. Yeah, it's like I said, the walk where Doctor Who was filmed in Cardiff. Go to Los Angeles where all the big major movies and TV shows can be filmed, and I will be curious to see if I can find where they filmed the bar from Lucifer, unless that's also in Canada for some reason.
Probably. I don't even know where Lucifer takes place.
It's supposed to be in Los Angeles.
I wouldn't be surprised because I knew Lucifer was filmed in Vancouver.
You know what, Soda? Anyway, so yeah, Los Angeles is my number 1 for a wide variety of reasons. But obviously Ben is the first, and the Schmodown is the second.
So I would visit for a lot of the same reasons, but there is one place that I am disappointed I am about a decade too late to visit. So one of the things I want to do is I want to go take the tours of the studios. One of the ones I've always wanted to see, but unfortunately was demolished, was Soundstage 28 on the Universal backlot. It was made in 1925 for the Lon Chaney Sound of the Opera, and because of the way it was built, they had to leave it standing. It was all built with concrete and all that jazz. And over the years, they had films filmed there, like Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, Psycho. Like, it's a massively historic building, and supposedly it was haunted, but unfortunately in 2014, they tore it down to make room for other things.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite things to do here is go on the Universal tour, and if you guys come, of course, you would do that.
Yeah.
you would see, well, my favorite part of the tour is you see Hill Valley from Back to the Future.
That's
You
right.
see that?
Yeah.
He actually does live in Fargo, North Dakota. And yes, that would be we'll say number 6.
Okay.
Yeah. This for all of us.
Yeah.
But also, Ben, I don't know. Are you familiar? Well, you watch the Good People Association. Do you know Ikaika from
Yep.
the? He's part of my writer's room on Mark Riley's Patreon. He's writing a film script right now, which heavily involves the Universal tour, and obviously Back to the Future is a major part of that script.
Cool.
I am majorly pissed off at Universal Studios.
Why?
They took out Back to the Future, the ride, the Simpsons ride, and I never got to know that.
Oh, wow.
They did that in Orlando as well. But I've heard of the Back to the Future one.
But let me ask you this: you had other rides that you have been on because you happen to live very close there. Am I right?
Yeah.
4 hours away from the one in Florida.
Okay, I'm just
lucky.
I'm just sitting here in my country that has nothing in it. Okay, just
Nothing in it. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Just all this historical stuff, you know.
Yeah, history.
Yes.
History can compare to actual seeing movies and Disney World and Disneyland and I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but okay. Well, now that COVID's done and I've actually got a job that hopefully in a year will allow me to travel. Yeah, you damn fucking rights. I'm coming to Los Angeles.
Yeah, me too. And like I said earlier, what if the first post-COVID spectacular is there?
Yeah,
we could all 4 of us.
I wouldn't be able to do this one, but definitely the next one. But yeah. So now I can finally end the list. Now there's no one else left to go, right? There's Soul. You don't have another one?
Does Paco have anything you want to say, Mom?
Yeah. But anyways, Ben, it is your time to choose for the next week.
Well, in honor of Ned Beatty passing away a few weeks ago.
Of who's? Oh, Ned Beatty. Yes.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was a great, awesome actor. Going to miss him. Top 5 sidekicks or supporting characters from
I like
movies or TV.
Timon and Pumbaa. You learn to love them.
That would be one, I would assume. That would count as one, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a package deal.
Yeah, of course. You
This is
get
gonna be a
one,
fun
you get
list.
the other one.
This is going to be a fun list, man. It really is. Okay, so thank you very much for those of you joining. Thank you, Taco, for joining in on us in the chat. Hope your daughter's doing well. So yeah, from now on, this is the last episode of the show on the Media Sweaties Network. From now on, we are going to be permanently housed over on the Schmoes of the North Network. So same time, all that jazz. So definitely join us over there full time starting next week. Soul, where could everybody find you?
You can find me at Soul Gobin on Twitter. You can find me later today on John Roca's YouTube channel for the Ultimate Showdown After Show. We have on, let me get to
King Khan.
yes.
Drew McWeeny.
King
and,
Kong, Drew McWeeny, and Frank Moran.
Frank Moran.
Nice. I'm jealous that you're talking to the Godfather, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's our second time. We've had him on before.
Lucky bastards. Well, it's just him and Bibbs are two people I just want to sit down and talk movies with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, we had a good movie conversation. We talked about 80s movies last time he was on. So definitely go check that out if you haven't seen that episode.
Yeah, well, Drew had an 80s podcast that he unfortunately stopped a long time ago, but I really like to listen to called 80s All Over. They broke down movies every year of the 80s. It was really good.
Right.
Yeah, all right, 50, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek. You can also find me on Twitch, 50 Shades O Geek, without the F. I'm streaming. I'm playing the old Lego Harry Potter games while trying. Emphasis on trying. Maybe this week I'll finally finish building this Lego Hedwig stand for my upcoming Lego Harry Potter match, which comes out on John Roca's Patreon this Thursday against Aisha Kenya. Also, all of my Twitch streams are eventually going on my gaming channel, 50 Shades of Gaming. You can also find me on Patreon, patreon.com/Pokemon Star Cross and Crescent. I'm designing a Pokemon game based on Israel, where a lot of the places you might want to visit in Israel will show up in the game. Maybe. We'll see.
And Ben, what about you?
You guys can find me right here on this channel in about 3 hours, yes, doing Mount Schmodown, my Schmodown show. We're normally been going to players' careers, but starting this week, we're going into factions for our next month or two. And today we're going into the season 7 factions. So like the 5 Club, Viper Squad,
Oh yeah,
Lion's Den,
The Horseman.
the
Yeah.
Horsemen,
both
all
for
those.
assuming.
So that's going to be hella fun. Come check that out. You can also find me on Shooting the Breeze, Recapping the Past, and this show.
And as for myself, soda underscore the underscore saxman on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on almost every show, it seems, on the Schmodown Schmoes of the North channel. Later tonight, join us, as Taco so graciously put in the chat. Tonight, another episode of Let's Talk About Star Wars. We are actually going to be doing a tier ranking episode on a bunch of Sith to see who is the best Sith of all. So check that out, 6 o'clock Pacific. I actually don't know who the guests are tonight. I'm actually blanking on that. But either way, check it out. I'm not on camera. I'm behind the scenes. I'm always trying to bust those guys, make them laugh. So if you want to have a good time, check us out over there. And
expect the unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. Expect the unexpected. I don't have it queued up, 50. I'm sorry.
I did it for you.
Thank you. But anyways, on behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us on the Media Sweaties Network. And we're looking forward to what's gonna happen in the future over in Schmoes of the North. So for the final time on that channel, don't forget, everyone, stay sweaty, and we'll see you later.